we'll bring you today's play of the game. From the Padres Radio Network, here's Sam Levitt.
The Padres begin their 6-game road trip on a high note. They beat the Cleveland Guardians by a final score of 7-5 in this series opener in Cleveland. Welcome into our Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show here on the Padres Radio Network. Padres trailed early, but the offense puts on a show once again. Padres get a very nice win and a 7th consecutive win as the Padres take the show on the road, and they continue to roll. As always, our postgame coverage brought to you by Jamul Casino Resort. Hey, player, need a little me time? Jamul Spa was just named one of the top 100 spas in America. Jamul Casino Resort, the player's place. Lot to do. We'll head back to Cleveland. Hear from Craig Stammen in just a little bit. We have all the radio highlights for you. Well, this game did not start great. Padres trailed 3-0 in this game, but it has been such a pleasure to watch this offense go to work, and it all started with the 2-run home run from Xander Bogaerts off Gavin Williams, who ends up having his shortest start of the season. 4 innings and a third for Gavin Williams, the ace of this Guardian staff. Really a quality right-hander in the American League, and the Padres not only got to him in the 4th inning, made it 3-2. They then find a way to score 3 in the 5th inning, take a 5-3 lead. They would add on in this game, and ultimately were able to win this game by a final score of 7-5, and the Padres just keep on rolling. They've won 16 of their last 20 games, 16-4 in their last 20. Now 7 wins in a row, 6 wins in a row. Did I say that wrong? Coming right out of the chute here. Hold on, my brain is breaking in real time here. You know what? It is 6 wins in a row. Did I say 7? Off to a really nice start. Hey, you know what? At least I gave them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 wins in a row. So we're off to a really good start here on the post-game coverage. And I was optimistic that tomorrow's going to be a win too. 6 wins in a row, pardon me. But I can tell you with certainty it is 16 of their last 20 games. They continue to play just great baseball. 7 runs on 12 hits here today. Bogaerts got him going with the home run. It was Tatis with the game-tying home run. Luis Campusano had a big day. A number of guys. Again, that has been the beauty of this offensive renaissance for the Padres. They have just been 1 through 9 productive more nights than not. A couple of notes for you that we will hear from Craig Stammen about coming up. Now, one good thing about this game was that they got through it without using Morahone or Mason Miller. Now, it is a little curious as to why Bradley Rodriguez came in for the save opportunity instead of Mason Miller. I know Miller threw a lot of pitches on Wednesday. Morahone threw a lot of pitches on Wednesday, but still, after an off day, little bit weird that Mason Miller didn't come in for the save chance, after an off day. Typically, you would see that. So, again, stay tuned. We are going to hear from Craig Stammen. Freddie Fermin also came in this game in the 9th inning, replacing Luis Campusano, who had a huge day at the plate. So, a couple of potential questions there for Craig Stammen as far as what the deal is with Miller and possibly Campusano as well, who, again, had a great day at the plate. But reality is, Padres, as far as the wins and the losses, they keep it rolling. 6 straight wins, and in a game where they trailed 3-0 against a really good right-hander in Gavin Williams. The offense, again, just shows up in a huge way, and the Padres, who have been one of the best comeback teams all year, even when they were struggling in the first half of the season, they do it again and find a way to win this series opener in Cleveland. When we come back, all the radio highlights. Again, we'll head back to Cleveland, hear from Craig Stammen in just a little bit. Final score here tonight, Padres 7 and the Guardians 5 on the Padres Radio Network. Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside our San Diego studios. Final score here tonight, Padres 7 and the Guardians 5. We will head back to Cleveland, hear from Padre manager Craig Stammen coming up in just a little bit. Right now, let's recap how this series opener went down in the land.
Which moments determine the outcome of today's game? We'll paint you a picture with our game highlights on the Padres Radio Network.
A couple of right-handers going at it tonight in Cleveland. The big, tall right-hander Gavin Williams on the mound for the Guardians and Michael King on the mound for the Padres. Padres had some early chances against Williams. They stranded 2 on base in the first. They did the same in the second. In the bottom of the second, Nathaniel Lowe led off for Cleveland.
King will turn and deal the 2-1 pitch. Lowe sends it in the air to left center field. Jackson Merrill going back, turning to watch. This one gonna go. Opposite field home run for Nathaniel Lowe. Got it up over the 19-foot wall in left center field, and the Guardians have struck. It's 1-0.
Padres trailed 1-0 going to the bottom half of the third. Brian Rocchio dug in against King.
Now here he is playing shortstop for them. 2-0 ripped in the air deep down the right field line. This one's back and gone, a home run. Brian Rocchio with his 10th of the year. So much for that slump. Second solo shot of the night for the Guardians. It's 2-0 here in the third.
Guardians got 2 more runners on base. Lowe struck again with an RBI single. That made it 3-0. The Padres trailing by a few runs going to the 4th inning. But that's where this game started to turn. There was a runner on base for the X-Man, Xander Bogaerts.
Here's the 0-1. And Bogaerts hits it in the air deep to left field, way back and gone. About halfway up the seats and left. A long home run for Xander Bogaerts. His 11th of the year as he clears the wall for a second consecutive game. And just like that, a 1-run game.
Now, Bogey providing a little spark. Padres still trailed 3-2 going to the 5th inning. It did not last long. Fernando Tatis Jr. led off against Williams.
Fernando Tatis Jr. will swing at the first pitch. Hits it in the air, deep down the left field line, and gone, a home run. Fernando has tied it up. A laser beam over the 19-foot wall in left. And it's 3-3 here in the 5th.
Jr. Fernando Tatis Jr.
A laser, indeed, off the bat of Fernando, 115.5 miles per hour off the bat. He absolutely crushed it. Only question was, would it stay fair? It did, and that tied the game at 3. Padres, though, not done in the 5th inning. Jake Cronenworth singled. Manny Machado singled. Ty France walked. All of a sudden, the bases were loaded with 1 out for Luis Campusano.
Now 2-1, and Campusano hits it on a line to right field and deep. DeLauder going back, still going back. This one off the wall. Cronenworth will score. Machado's right behind him. The relay to the plate is not in time. A 2-run double for Campusano. Odds with their first lead of the night, 5-3 here in the 5th.
Padres still led 5-3 going to the bottom half of the 6th inning. King still on the mound. There was a runner on second base with 2 men away for Angel Henao.
And he swings at the first pitch, sends it in the air, high and deep to right center. Merrill's back. This one is off the wall. Halpin into second base, an RBI double as Henao scores. And just like that, it's a 1-run game, 5-4.
All right, my mistake on that. Henao was on base. It was Halpin at the plate, Petey Halpin at the plate. So RBI double for Halpin. That made it a 5-4 game. King struck out Patrick Bailey to end the inning. That kept the Padres in front 5-4. Top half of the 7th inning, Colin Holderman on the mound for Cleveland. Padres got it going again offensively. Ty France hit a leadoff double. Jackson Merrill was hit by a pitch. That brought up Luis Campusano.
First pitch swinging in the air up the right field line. DeLauder all the way at the wall. Jumps up. Can't make the catch. Bangs against the wall. Rolls back towards the infield. France is on his way home. The throw to the plate is cut. It's an RBI double and a 6-4 lead.
Padres added another on a sac fly from Xander Bogaerts later in the inning. They led 7-4. After Yuki Matsui pitched the scoreless bottom of the 7th inning, Jeremiah Estrada came on for the 8th inning. He did give up a run. That came on a double, an error, a wild pitch, allowed a run to score. But Estrada did a good job to get a couple of outs with the tying run at the plate. Padres still led 7-5 through 8 innings. They still led 7-5 going to the 9th inning. This is where Bradley Rodriguez, now Mason Miller, entered the game for the save opportunity. Again, we'll hear from Craig Stammen in just a little bit, probably get a little bit more info on why Miller did not come into this game. Not saying it's anything bad, but just a little strange. Rodriguez came in. He did give up a leadoff double to Brian Rocchio, so just like that, Guardians had the tying run at the plate, but then Rodriguez really dialed it in. He got Stephen Kwan to ground out. He got Chase DeLauder to strike out. Looking, there were 2 outs. The tying run at the plate in the form of Guardian outfielder Angel Martinez.
2-2 to Angel Martinez. The pitch taken right down the middle. Strike 3 called. 99 from Bradley as he collects his first career save, and the Pods have won their 6th consecutive game. 7-5 over the Guardians here in Cleveland.
A really, really good win for the Padres. They trailed 3-0. They come back to win it 7-5. And the Padres, like Jesse said, win a 6th consecutive game. The Padres also winning for a 16th time in their last 20 games, as the Padres do a good job in tonight's game, no doubt about it. Offense, 7 runs, 12 hits, 2 errors for the Guardians, 5 runs, 10 hits, and no errors. Winning pitcher today, Michael King, who improves to 8-8. Gavin Williams, his shortest start of the year at just 4 innings and a third, drops to 11-7, and the save goes to Bradley Rodriguez, his first career save in the major leagues. Padres improved to 66-57. Guardians dropped to 59-64. And by the way, Padres did gain at least a half game on the Philadelphia Phillies today. Phillies rare Friday off for them after they played in the Field of Dreams game in Iowa yesterday. So they had a day off today. And then you had the Diamondbacks winning 2-0 in Atlanta. So the wild card standings right now, Padres a game up on Arizona. Arizona holding the final wild card spot, tied for that final wild card spot, I should say, with Philadelphia. So the Padres do gain a half game on Philly, and they do maintain a game lead over the Arizona Diamondbacks. That's the way it goes here tonight in the wild card standings. When we come back, we'll hear from Padre manager Craig Stammen. Again, the final score here tonight, Padres 7, Guardians 5. Our post-game coverage continues after this. Casino Resort Padres postgame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Final score here today, Padres 7 and the Guardians 5 as the Padres win a 6th in a row. Padres continue to roll. Remember, Padres had not been great on the road, as of late. And, even in this most recent stretch with how well they've played. Remember, they only went 5-5 on the road trip out of the break. They went 2-2 in that series in Arizona. So good to see the Padres get this road trip off to get this road trip started on a high note. That's what I was trying to say. Padres win it 7-5. Offense here tonight, obviously terrific. 7 runs on 12 hits, erased the 3-run early deficit very, very quickly. Padres end up scoring 2 in the 4th inning to make it 3-2, 3 in the 5th inning to make it 5-3, and then ends up being 2 really important runs in the 7th inning to extend the lead to 7-4. In the bullpen, without using Morahone and Miller tonight, they make it stand up. Yuki Matsui, a scoreless 7th inning. Jeremiah Estrada gave up a run in the 8th inning, didn't get helped out by an error from Jake Cronenworth at second base. Bradley Rodriguez, what a job by Bradley. First major league save, scoreless 9th inning. And by the way, he had to face the top of the Guardian lineup. All those guys representing the tying run at the plate. And Bradley Rodriguez, who, as we know, has just had a wonderful, wonderful season. He continues to just be stellar at the age of 22 years old. He lowered his ERA tonight to 2.09. We spend so much time talking about Miller and Morahone and Estrada and Adam when he's healthy. Man, oh man, what a special right-handed pitcher the Padres have. And this kid, Bradley Rodriguez, how good has he been? And his stuff is just electric. You saw it on full display in the save opportunity here tonight. Really, 2 things that I'm interested to hear about from Craig Stammen. I'm sure he'll get asked about one. I'm not sure about the other. Number one, why Mason Miller wasn't used. May just be an off day for Miller. Has thrown a lot, obviously, this year. Threw a lot of pitches on Wednesday. And also, Luis Camposano, who came out of this game in the bottom of the 9th inning. Freddie Fermin came in to catch. Could have just been a defensive thing, but still, I would say a little bit unusual. So let's go back to Cleveland, hear from Craig Stammen after tonight's win.
Let's pull up a seat in the manager's office and hear from Padres skipper Craig Stammen. Served up by Sinley Food. If you've had better chicken, you must be a rooster.
This game seemed to sort of turn on Xander's homer for both starting pitchers. What did you see?
Yeah, you're right. It was, we had people on base. We couldn't punch through. He's a really good pitcher. Was kind of using his off-speed stuff a lot more today. And then Xander just with a big hit, was like, kind of done that here lately. We've given up runs and then we've gotten a big homer, which makes us feel like we're back in the game. And then we've played really good baseball after that.
Seemed to sort of flip it for Michael too.
Yeah, exactly. I think, gave him a chance like, I can get a win here. He started smelling a win and, he threw up a great inning right after that 3-run inning that we scored those runs, and it was a big shutdown inning for us and gave us a chance, got us through 6 innings, saved some of our guys in the pen that we had down today. And, that was just a great job of him kind of grinding through 6 innings without his best stuff.
What do you think of those first few innings where you got those? Did you feel like, okay, that was a good sign that you guys had those at-bats and extended those innings?
Yeah, definitely. And I felt like it was a good sign, too, that he didn't feel comfortable throwing his fastball. The first batter of the game, he's throwing his fastball, and, Toddy gets a big walk. And then after that, he went off speed. And to get one of the best pitchers in the game to not use his best pitch or one of his best pitches is a good thing for our offense and gave us, some life and, thought that we could get to him.
Bradley keeps stepping up.
Yeah.
For you.
Yeah, I keep saying Bradley's one of the best relief pitchers in all of baseball. And he proved it again tonight, being able to pitch the 9th with some of our big boys down and even giving up a leadoff double for a rookie for that to happen to him on the road and to just go, get 1, 2, 3 right after that was pretty big.
Can you talk about your commitment to making sure those guys are strong at the end of the season? Because clearly, this is every bit as big a game as there could be at this point in the year, and you went to Bradley.
Yeah, and I think that just speaks to the beauty of our bullpen and how, deep it is top to bottom. We're able to give those guys a day off when they need it. We're able to push them like we did before this day off and then still be able to be all right on the back end. And now, now it's probably Bradley's turn to, have a couple days to himself, and those other guys are going to have to pick him up. But that's the beauty. That's what's awesome about a bullpen, is those guys are their own little team down there together. They rally around each other, pick each other up, and cover for each other.
just for the record, nothing's wrong with Mason. This was just a day.
Nothing at all wrong with Mason.
With Bradley, you've seen him over the last 2 seasons now. Very impressive young man. Do you see him as a closer down the road, or is this just kind of a let's go step by step with him?
Yeah, I think, what we saw tonight is, foreshadowing of what he'll probably be for a lot of his career. He's just got the stuff that, closers are made of, and he's got the mentality, number one, that closers are made of. So he did a lot in the minor leagues. He's going to get a few opportunities here, when Mason can't go, and there's other guys we have in the pen too, Adrian and Jeremiah, and Jason Adam, and all these guys that are capable of throwing the 9th inning.
That was Padres manager Craig Stammen following tonight's 7-5 win against the Cleveland Guardians. So first off, nothing wrong with Mason Miller, which is obviously stellar news. It's not even news. It's really non-news that nothing is wrong with Mason Miller, and they just wanted to stay away from him. And look, I get it. These guys, him and Morahone, have pitched a ton. Mason threw a lot of pitches, high-stress pitches on Wednesday, 23, and Morahone threw 35. So I understand wanting to stay away from Miller and Morahone and try to steal him a couple of off days in a row. Look, these guys, especially Morahone and Miller, they are so incredibly important to this Padres team. And if the Padres are going to get to the postseason and make a deep run, and I think they're starting to look like a team that could certainly do that, they're going to need Morahone and Miller to be at the absolute top of their game. So I get it. I do. Tell you what, it says a lot about the Padre bullpen that in a close game after an off day, they were able to make that decision as a coaching staff and organization to say, you know what, if we can today, we're going to stay away from Miller and Morahone. It says a lot about this bullpen, right? And look, I'll help Craig Stammen there. The reporter, I'm not sure who that was. I think probably somebody filling in for AJ Casville, something like that. The question of whether Bradley can be a closer in the future, let me help everybody. Yes. Yes. The answer is 100% yes with his stuff and his level of success. Now, he probably isn't going to get that opportunity for a couple of years while Mason Miller is here. But let me tell you right now, if he stays healthy and keeps doing what he's doing and the Padres hold on to Bradley Rodriguez, he will, probably be this team's closer of the future. And by the way, and we're getting way down the line here, but, Morahone's a free agent at the end of the year. If Morahone's in a different uniform next year, I think Bradley's going to, kind of slot right into a primary setup role in front of Mason Miller. I'm getting way too down the road. But let me tell you this, Bradley Rodriguez is tremendous. He's terrific. And at this point, I'm no longer looking at Bradley as like, the 22-year-old young guy that I think I've said it before that I didn't put him in the big boy group with Miller and Morahone and Estrada and Adam, kind of the big four. Let me tell you right now, he's there. He's there. He is very much a part of the highest leverage group. He's earned it. I don't care how old he is. The stuff is the stuff. The results are the results. And he's now been put in a ton of big time high leverage opportunities like tonight, and he's passed with flying colors. So Bradley Rodriguez, in my book, officially welcome to the crew of the back end of this bullpen and everything that makes this bullpen so good. He was terrific tonight, and the future is incredibly bright for Bradley Rodriguez. Look, I also agreed there with the question and answer. Xander Bogaerts deserves a lot of credit in this game. He really does, because it did feel like this game started to turn on the Bogaerts home run. It really did. The Padres were down 3-0. They didn't have much going against Gavin Williams. They did leave 2 on in each of the first 2 innings, but Gavin Williams is really good, and you're trailing 3-0, and you can see a situation where he gets it rolling, and all of a sudden he's through 6-7 solid innings, and you're down, at least a couple of runs. But Xander, with 2 outs in that inning, hits a ball a mile, makes it 3-2, and it felt like that A, sparked the Padres offense, and B, led to Williams not being nearly as good. He gives up the laser of a home run to Tatis to start the 5th inning. Then it was single, walk. A couple batters later, 2-run double, and he ends up not getting out of the 5th inning. It was the shortest start of the year. So I really think you can look at Xander. And by the way, he had the home run on Wednesday as well and hit it a mile. It's a good sign for Xander Bogaerts. He deserves a lot of credit in this game. And more so, it was another example of this Padres offense just rolling. I mean, to me, that has been the story of this turnaround as a ball club. I mean, we can talk about the acquisitions of Ray and Mize. We can talk about the pitching chaos strategy and how they got through a portion of the schedule with that. Obviously, you can always talk about the bullpen and how important a factor they are to this team. But there's no doubt this offense essentially doing a 180, like from late June into early July, and carrying it on through now mid-August. It's the story of the season so far. And here tonight, it was again 1 through 9. Tatis had the home run. Cronenworth had 2 hits. Machado had 2 hits. France had 2 hits. What else is new? Jackson didn't have a hit, but you know what? He walked and he scored a couple of runs. Luis Campusano, a great day. 2 doubles, 3 RBIs. Gavin Sheets had a base hit. Xander Bogaerts had the home run. And drove in a run with a sac fly later in the game. Luis Rengifo had a base hit. I mean, everybody in this lineup, except with the exception of Jackson Merrill, had a hit in this game. 8 out of the 9 batters. So you had 3 RBIs for Campusano, 3 RBIs for Bogaerts. Again, 1 through 9. They're just incredibly productive right now. One thing that was not answered there by Craig Stammen, he wasn't asked about it. I am a little curious, honestly, why Fermin came in for Campusano. Now, maybe it's a defensive thing that they just like Freddie behind the plate more, but Campy's defense, along with his offense, has been really solid, and we have not seen that before. We've not seen a catcher come in for a catcher defensively just because in a tight game. That would be a new strategy for the Padres and Craig Stammen. We haven't seen that all year. I'm a little curious about that. Again, it wasn't asked post-game, and honestly, it was so, kind of minor in the sense of Fermin came in that final half inning that, it's possible that people didn't really notice. I did. Fermin came in for Campusano. I'm a little curious about that and would be interested to see tomorrow if there's anything to look into there. But anyway, is what it is for tonight. No update. Maybe we'll get some reporting on it. And by the way, I'm not sitting here saying anything is wrong with Luis Campusano. I just found it a little odd. We've not seen that before, with a straight defensive sub essentially at catcher in the 9th inning. We've not seen that before. So just something to keep in the back of your mind. But tonight, great win. 7-5. Padres trailed early, and the offense comes up big again. And again, it speaks volumes of the Padres bullpen that they were able to get through this game. Tight game, close game, high leverage spots, never more than a 3-run lead. It got through it without the use of Morahone or Miller. Says a lot about the bullpen. When we come back, we'll get into our daily awards. Full look at the out-of-town scoreboard coming your way as well. Final score here tonight, Padres 7 and the Guardians 5. Our post-game coverage continues after this. Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside our San Diego studios. Final score here today, Padres 7 and the Guardians 5. Well, we've talked plenty about them, but let's make it official. Tell you about tonight's relief pitcher of the game.
Which pitcher entered the game and slammed the door shut? This is today's relief pitcher of the game, brought to you by San Diego criminal defense attorney David P. Shapiro. We help good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime. Learn more at davidpshapirolaw.com.
Now to the Angel Martinez. The pitch taken right down the middle. Strike three called. 99 from Bradley as he collects his first career save, and the Pods have won their sixth consecutive game. 7-5 over the Guardians here in Cleveland.
Bradley Rodriguez, our relief pitcher of the game. See, we talk about it in the commercial break. Hey, we're going to play this highlight, and then I jump all over it. Bradley Rodriguez, our relief pitcher of the game, no doubt about it here tonight. First major league save, found a way even after giving up the leadoff double to the number 9 batter, Rocchio. Then he gets Quan, DeLauder, and Martinez, 1, 2, 3 hitters in the Guardians lineup. Strikes out the final 2. The stuff was nasty. He's throwing 100 miles per hour up there. The sinker, the changeup. It's great. 2.09 ERA now on the year for Bradley Rodriguez. He continues to just put together a stellar season at the age of 22. Bradley Rodriguez, our relief pitcher of the game. Let's quickly tell you about the Padres' heart of the order.
Let's take the pulse of the Padres and check in on the heart of the order, presented by Palomar Health Medical Group.
Part of the order here tonight, 3, 4, 5 hitters, Machado, France, and Merrill. Productive at night, especially for the 3-4 guys. Manny Machado, 2 hits in this game, a run scored. Ty France had 2 hits and a double with a run scored here tonight. Jackson Merrill didn't have a hit in this game, did walk, did score a couple of runs, did steal a base, his 24th stolen base of the season, no less. So, productive night for the heart of the order, 3, 4, 5 hitters, Manny, France, and Merrill. You know, I tweeted this out a little bit earlier. I think it's so true. And we talked about it pregame. The numbers back it up. You know, it just seems like if you never checked the game log and you actually went to go look, right, and you said to yourself, you know, seems like Ty France just has at least 2 hits a night. It really does. If you never went and looked at the game log, I would think, you know, this guy Ty France, he must have at least 2 hits a game. Just watching him, right, and you see how productive he is. France tonight was his 15th multi-hit game since the All-Star break. That is the most in the major leagues in that span. So if it feels like Ty France just has 2 hits per night minimum, that's because on most nights he does. 15 multi-hit games since the All-Star break, the most across the majors since the break. All right, let's step aside. When we come back, we've got a new feature for you on the post-game coverage. I mean, this is a big deal when we introduce a new feature. So we'll have that. We'll have our full look at the out-of-town scoreboard, our play of the game, get you ready for the final game, or I should say, middle game of this series tomorrow in Cleveland. If you want to squeeze a quick phone call in, 833-288-0973, phone number to call, 833-288-0973, the phone number as always. Final score in this series opener, Padres 7 and the Guardians 5 on the Padres Radio Network. Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Final score here tonight, Padres 7 and the Guardians 5. Phone number to call. If you want to get involved, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. We'll get to a phone call or two here in just a little bit. We'll look at the out-of-town scoreboard coming your way as well. But look, anytime we have a brand new feature to introduce on our pre- and post-game coverage, it is a very exciting day. So, for the first time this season, let's hear our scoop of the game.
What was the most crucial defensive play in today's game?
Throw to first is in time.
This is the scoop of the game. Served up fresh by Brewster's Real Ice Cream in La Mesa, the official ice cream of the Padres Radio Network. Roll through their drive-thru, download the app, and get an additional free scoop. Brewster's Ice Cream, the best ice cream in San Diego.
Came off the bench yesterday, collected a hit against the Tigers, grounds one right to France. He fires to second one. Bogart's back to first, up the line, but France able to maintain contact with the bag, and a 3-6-3 double play to end the first inning.
Really nice 3-6-3 double play to end the first inning, as Jesse said, help Michael King through a scoreless opening frame. That is tonight's scoop of the game. Best defensive play we saw tonight. I do want to tell you a big thank you to our new sponsor, Brewster's Real Ice Cream. Our studio coordinator, Nick Danucci, he said to me before our pregame show today, we were talking about scoop of the game. He said to me, you went there last night, Nick, you said? Nick, how about that? Great job by Nick. Went there last night, and he said it was outstanding. Incredible. I think the word he actually used was fire. And that's what the cool kids say. It was fire. Yeah, Brewster's Real Ice Cream. So Nick Danucci, our studio coordinator, went to Brewster's. He absolutely loved it. Couldn't say enough about it. So I can't wait to try Brewster's. I got to get over there. Especially now that they're sponsoring our scoop of the game. I love that, too. The scoop of the game. Perfect job by everybody involved. All right, let's take a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard.
Let's take a trip around the bigs to highlight the scores that matter most with our out-of-town scoreboard. Presented by Jensen Premium Beef Patties. Always a hit for grilling.
We take a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard on this Friday night. We have got 5 games going on right now. We have got 9 final scores, including the Padres game. The game's going on right now. Mariners and the Astros are tied at 5 in Houston in the 8th inning. Yordan Alvarez, a home run early in that one for the Astros, is 36th of the season. Angels beating the Royals 4-3 in Anaheim in the 5th inning. A's ahead of the Rangers in the 4th inning. 3-0 in Sacramento. Dodgers lead the Brewers 1-0 in LA in the 3rd. Rockies and the Giants are scoreless in San Francisco at the end of 3. Finals today. Cubs beat the Cardinals 3-0 in Chicago. Seiya Suzuki, 3-run home run for the Cubbies in the 6th inning in that one. Clay Holmes throwing 6 2/3 scoreless innings in that one for the win. Reds beat the Marlins 1-0 in Cincinnati. Eugenio Suarez, RBI double in the 6th inning to give the Reds the lead. Chase Burns, 7 scoreless innings, 8 strikeouts in that one for Cincinnati. Pirates beat the Red Sox 8-4 in Pittsburgh. White Sox beat the Tigers 9-5 in Detroit. Miguel Vargas, 2 home runs in that game, now 27 on the season for the White Sox. Mets beat the Nationals in New York 4-1. Francisco Lindor, Jared Young hitting home runs in that game for New York. Orioles beat the Rays 6-5 in Tampa Bay. Colton Cowser and Gunnar Henderson hitting home runs in that one for Baltimore. Henderson's 20th home run of the season. D-backs beat the Braves 2-0 in Atlanta. Tim Tawa, home run in the 9th inning in that game. Brandon Pfaadt, who has been so good lately for the D-backs, he through 7 scoreless innings, gave up just 2 hits, picks up the win in that one. Finally, Blue Jays beat the Yankees 3-1 in Toronto. Alejandro Kirk, go-ahead double in the 6th inning. He also added a solo home run in the 8th inning. Trent Grisham also hit his 16th home run of the year in that one for the Yanks. And that is a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard on this Friday evening. So let's take a look at the wild card standings in the National League here with the results we just talked about. And it looks like this. Looks like this. Padres sitting in the number 2 wild card spot. They have a game lead on both the Diamondbacks and the Phillies at the end of tonight. So Diamondbacks and Phillies currently tied for the final wild card spots. And then you've got the Padres a game up in the number 2 wild card spot, 1 game ahead in the loss column. Of course, out of the Padres, D-backs, and Phillies, one team right now would be on the outside looking in. So that's the situation. Padres holding the 2nd spot, Diamondbacks and Phillies tied for the 3rd and final wild card spot in the National League. So good job of the Padres here tonight. Diamondbacks won. Phillies were actually off today. That's because they played in the Field of Dreams game in Iowa yesterday, so they gave them an off day today. Phillies will be back in action tomorrow. Let's hear tonight's play of the game.
One bounce, one hit, one pitch can be the difference between victory and defeat. What was the most important play in today's game? This is today's Play of the Game. Presented by Bill Howe Plumbing, Heating and Air, Restoration and Flood. We know how.
Now 2-1, and Campusano hits it on a line to right field and deep. DeLauder going back, still going back. This one off the wall. Cronenworth will score. Machado's right behind him. The relay to the plate is not in time. A 2-run double for Campusano. Odds with their first lead of the night, 5-3 here in the 5th.
Play of the game here tonight could have gone a few different ways with this, but we give it to Luis Campusano. The 2-run double is part of that 3-run 5th inning. Put the Padres ahead for good. Campy had 2 doubles in this game, 3 RBIs. Andrew Bogart's also 3 RBIs in this one, and the Padres go on to win it by a final score of 7-5. So Luis Campusano, after the walk-off hit on Wednesday, he continues to just play great baseball. I mean, when he's been healthy, he has very much been one of the best hitting catchers in the game. And Luis, he's been a great story for this team, no doubt about that. All right, before we get to our final totals, get to tomorrow's game, there was something I wanted to get to here. What was it? It was just on the tip of my tongue. Oh, you know what it was? Somebody here on the YouTube stream, it's Fred Alexander, said, "Can we catch the Cubs?" So I did want to give you a little, a little more info, because I really talked about, and I've pretty much the last month talked about the non-number 1 spot. Here's the thing. Cubs right now, after today's win, they're 72-51. They are 6 games up on the Padres, who sit in the 2nd spot. Is that impossible to make up? No. That's a lot of games. I mean, 6-game deficit here in mid-August. Cubs have been really good. You would need them to play pretty poorly, and the Padres would probably have to play out of their mind the final month and a half of the season. Not impossible, but you do trail the Cubs by 6 games for the final, or I should say, the first wild card spot in the National League. The only thing to remember, is the only way you host a wild card series is by getting that number 1 wild card seed. So if the season ended right now, I'm not even going to get into it right now with who the Padres would go play. It wouldn't be the Cubs. It would be one of the division winners. But put it this way, the Padres, for as well as they've played, and they've played great, 16-4 in their last 20 games, they've turned around their season, really. They still have a lot of work to do in order to host a wild card series. So just something to keep in mind. Not impossible, but there is a lot of work to be done, a lot of ground to make up on the Cubs, who right now lead the Padres by 6 games for that first wild card spot. Again, not impossible, but a lot of work to be done by the Padres in order to get there, just so you know. All right, looking ahead to tomorrow, same time, same place. First pitch tomorrow at 4:10 p.m. on a late Saturday afternoon here on the West Coast. Our pregame coverage begins at 3:10. Pitching matchup tomorrow. Padres have not yet announced their starting pitcher, as Jesse and Tony alluded to in their postgame wrap. It is the Randy Vasquez spot, so you would imagine there's a pretty good chance it will be Randy to start. Although you never know. We've seen the Padres get creative, start with openers. I would imagine you will see Randy in some way, shape, or form in tomorrow's game. Could be a starter, could be as the bulk innings guy. We shall see. Right now, they have not announced their starter for tomorrow. On the mound for the Guardians, left-hander Joey Cantillo, who he was actually part of the Padres system for quite some time, traded to the Guardians, comes in with a 3.91 ERA. So the left-hander on the mound for the Guardians, and should be either Randy Vasquez or an opener tomorrow for the Padres. As always, if you missed any portion of our post-game coverage, you can go back and listen to all of it on the Inside San Diego Baseball podcast, available on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your podcast. You can also go back on the 97.3 The Fan YouTube channel and watch any portion of our post-game coverage there as well. We've got a comment here on YouTube while I was looking at the comments. It says, "In Yuki we trust." Yes, I agree. Yuki Matsui. In Yuki we trust. Great job here tonight by Yuki. What else is new? Scoreless 7th inning. So that's my final thought on tonight's game. All right, taking a look at the final totals here tonight. Look like this for the Padres: 7 runs on 12 hits, 2 errors. They left on 9. For the Guardians, 5 runs, 10 hits, no errors. They left on 7. Winning pitcher tonight, Michael King, who improves to 8-8. Losing pitcher, Gavin Williams, who drops to 11-7. And the save goes to Bradley Rodriguez, his first major league save in what has been a wonderful season for the 22-year-old right-hander. Time of game tonight, 2 hours, 49 minutes, and the crowd at Progressive Field in Cleveland, Ohio. Sellout tonight in Cleveland, 35,726. Once again, first pitch tomorrow at 4:10 p.m. Our pregame coverage begins at 3:10. Until then, for our great studio coordinator, Nick Danucci, I'm Sam Levitt saying so long and good night from inside our San Diego studios. Again, the final score here tonight is the Padres win a 6th consecutive game. The San Diego Padres 7 and the Cleveland Guardians 5. We'll talk to you tomorrow on the Padres Radio Network. Have a wonderful rest of your Friday night.